Sounds weirdly specific. Sounds like if I had a nickel, I would have 2 nickels.
Which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
I am filming this at like the crack of dawn. Hey everyone, it's Sunny. I am my morning voice. If you didn't catch like my first rendition of this video, I felt like it was high time for me to do episode 2 recommending books by specific book talk trope because I have collected my fair share and I'm not mad about it at all. Yeah, I'm just gonna get started because we have a lot to get through. Okay, so the first trope, it's a classic one. You love it, I love it, we all scream for ice cream. It's the I'm supposed to kill you trope. So for this trope, the one that I would recommend is on like the lighter side. It's Bone Crier's Moon by Katheryn Purdie. It's about this world where there are women called bone criers. They're kind of like training to be the farriers of the dead, but in order to do that, they have to go through this rite of passage where they basically like lure men, lowly men, and they have to kill them. Follow 2 bone criers, and then we also follow this boy whose father was killed by a bone crier, and then ever since then he's like committed his life to finding and like murdering these bone criers. So it's I'm supposed to kill you because Bastian finally finds this bone crier doing a rite of passage, and it happens to be one of the girls, and there ends up being like a kidnapping situation, but then obviously it turns into something more. It's like, oh my gosh, it's also like forced captivity to like lovers, but like I said, this is like on the very light side, so it's like not like problematic or anything like that. Oh my gosh, do you know what this is? It's like I'm supposed to kill you, like morality. It turns into a captivity situation, and he just keeps on stalling and being like, oh, I'm supposed to kill you, but you're kind of a nice person. They end up having to like see things from the other person's point of view, and they end up having, you know what I mean? Like it's like an enemies to lovers type beat. Okay, the next trope. This has really become like a very quick fan favorite of mine. I say fan favorite, I'm literally just talking about myself. Just me, the one fan. It's we're childhood friends, but I've always loved you. But you don't know. I really do be on the hunt for this still. This is the book that kind of made me fall in love with this trope. Kind of give me like Love Rosie vibes. I love the movie Love Rosie, by the way. Oh my gosh, I love that movie. Anyway, for this book trope, I would recommend, I feel like I talk about this book all the time, but it's literally because I'm so obsessed with it and it still lives in my mind rent free. People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I will not stop recommending this book. It's like a slow burn childhood friends to lovers. It's like slow burn as in like 10 plus years slow burn. Okay, basically Poppy and Alex have been friends forever since like their freshman year of college. They had like this thing where they would like go on summer vacation, like 1 week of vacation together every summer. But they're also like broke college kids, so they do be like having like broke college vacations. It's kind of a time, I'm not gonna lie. Basically they're like adults now, like I said, it's like 12 years later. So they have like really not been speaking for the last 2 years and you don't know why. So Poppy and Alex go on like one last vacation to like salvage their friendship and like figure out what happened. It's a flashback situation. You follow their current vacation and then every other chapter you flash back to every year for those 10 years, what vacation they went on, and you're kind of like building up to that one vacation where like something happened and we don't know what it is. I feel like it's kind of easy to like guess the nature of like that fateful event, and it's like everything that you want. Like the angst is amazing. The I've always loved you part is strong. I love like a heart-ridden confession like at the end. All the angst that's been built up has been like building up to like this confession where there's like a monologue. The next trope that I will talk about is honestly one that I'm not. Actually, you know what? I don't know how to feel about this trope. It's the switching love interest halfway in like the book, halfway in the series. And this is not like a love triangle. Like I'm talking about like an ACOTAR type situation, but that's not what I'm recommending. Like that's the vibe, you know what I mean? You fully jumped ship. So for this trope, I would recommend The Raven Boys by Maggie steifvater. It's another YA fantasy. It's kind of like urban fantasy. It's a very low urban fantasy. Like it's barely, I feel like if you like kind of like think hard enough, you could like manifest it into our world. We're basically following our main character named Blue. Kind of like joins this like friend group of these like rich, privileged, white like private school kids. There's like 4 of them. Are there 4 of them? Yeah, there's 4 of them. I guess like the leader of that group is a boy named 𝐤𝐭𝐧𝐭. He is like obsessed with this legend of like this sleeping Welsh king, and so he and his friends are like on this wild goose chase to like find this guy. He's a king. Show your respect. Yeah, they're on like this hunt to like find the sleeping Welsh king. It's like such a specific and niche legend. Like I kind of love it. So yeah, switching love interest halfway through the series. Yeah, it's not a love triangle. It's definitely not a love triangle. After the love interest switch happens, the former love interest, like they have their own little thing going on. I feel like it could go awry a lot of ways, but I think that the series does it really, really well, especially considering the fact that they're all in the same friend group. Like that could get really, really messy. Like people always say like don't date within your friend group because if something happens, You know what I mean? But I feel like this series like handled it really, really well actually, because there was no like ill intentions, there was no malice, there's no pettiness, like there's no, you know what I mean? Like jealousy that's making people act super unlikable. All of them are super, super close, like, which I think is the reason why this works. I will warn you, it's like a multiple book commitment though. At least second book, you have to read the second book. And then I think things take off in like the third book. It's a 4-book series. Basically, you need to read the whole entire Okay, the next trope is also a well-beloved one. It's attending to the wound scene. Okay, for this one, I'll recommend Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia levenseller. This is like super, super quick. Like, it's like short. And then content-wise, it is like a quicker read in my opinion. Like, this is full of this book, if I made a part 3, all of it would be covered by this one book. But yeah, attending to the wound scene, I feel like this book has a couple. This book is about a girl named 𝐬𝐭𝐳, and she is like very notorious in like this pirate world because she's the daughter of this one very notorious like pirate, kind of like a pirate lord, you know what I mean? She has to pretend to be taken captive on this like enemy pirate ship in order to like search their ship because she's looking for a piece of a map. It's like an enemies to lovers between her and the first mate. What's his name? Ryden? I feel like the name Ryden. I feel like that's like the Emily of like a YA fantasy love interest. She's a fighter, I will say that. She is a fighter. There's a lot of wounds that happen. These tending to the wound scenes are like pretty spicy. Like the angst, oh my gosh, you could like cut that sexual tension with a knife. Like, it's honestly. The next trope is fake dating. I'm not the biggest fan of fake dating. I don't know, it has to be done like very specifically. I really like it when it's fake dating, but they're enemies. Lair of Dreams by Libba Bray. I guess I should recommend The Diviners because Lair of Dreams is the sequel. I like it when it's enemies, like they can't stand each other. You know what I mean? The Diviners takes place in like 1920s New York. Basically, in this world, there are people called diviners who are people who have like supernatural powers kind of. And we follow a girl named Evie, and she is like a secret diviner. She's able to read objects by touching them, like read the history of them. There are like these murders happening. She inevitably gets caught up in the investigations too. While she's there though, she meets all these different people, including one Sam. Oh my gosh, I am such a fan of Sam, like in the series. I love those two. Their banter is so cute and they have like a really fun and playful dynamic. Anyway, those two have to end up fake dating, like fake fiance. They're so funny. They're so funny. All like the snide remarks that they say under their breath. It's just such a fun time to me. Like, I think it's so funny. But then you see them kind of like tolerating each other as that goes on, and then trusting each other, like partners in crime. Like, it's that kind of energy, and I really, really like it a lot. Like, I was surprised. Okay, so the next trope, I got caught up with the town's bad boy trope. It's such a classic. It's such a classic. I feel like this is a dying art. So for this one, I'm going to be recommending Chasing Lucky by Jenn Bennett. Oh my gosh, hold on a second. This is also kind of a childhood friends to lovers. Okay, basically we follow this girl named Josie, and she and her mom basically moved back to like the small town that she grew up in. She runs into none other than this boy named Lucky, and he is like the town bad boy, like full on, like exactly what you think, like leather jacket, motorcycle. But plot twist is that him and Josie were actually like childhood best friends back when she still lived here. She comes back and she's like, what? He is like being super, super standoffish, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, and basically the two of them keep running into each other after this one like horrible pool party situation that went wrong. He kind of like helps her out and like saves her kind of. And like maybe he's not the brooding bad boy everybody thinks he is. Like, if you like this trope. Okay, the next trope. This next trope is honestly really weirdly specific, but I know 3 different books that have this trope in it. I feel it's like a secret menu item at McDonald's or something. Like, secret artist has been secretly drawing the girl he's in love with this entire time. Sounds weirdly specific. Sounds like if I had a nickel, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. The one that I'll recommend is a recent read. It's Loveboat Taipei by Abigail Hing. It's about a girl named Ever, and she gets shipped off to Taiwan for the summer in this like studying Mandarin program, but it's actually like a wild child program. It's like all this romance drama that happens. And it's also like rich people. Honestly, it's kind of a fun time. I feel like I can't go too much into this trope without spoiling it because there's also kind of like a secret identity, like anonymous secret admirer. So I feel like I can't say a lot, but yeah, just go read it. Okay, and then lastly, another fan favorite trope. I love this trope so much. It is I Hate Everyone But You. And for this one, I'm going to be recommending 6 of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I don't care. I know you guys say, I know, I see the comments and you can't go one video without talking about 6 of Crows. And you know what? You are absolutely right. I will recommend 6 of Crows until the grave. I swear to God. It's the first book in a duology by Leigh Bardugo. He's the author of the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Like, this also takes place in that universe, but you don't have to have read the original trilogy in order to read this book. In fact, I would kind of like recommend against doing that. But it takes place in a city called Ketterdam, which is kind of like the slum city of this entire world. Like, we follow this one gang, and like the leader of that gang is a guy named 𝐤𝐧𝐿. He is very much don't mess with this guy. Very cruel. Will do anything for money. He's also 17 17 years old, but like I feel like collectively just like ignore that. He's very much like, I'm all about the business. I'm all about getting my revenge, and I hate everyone. He keeps everybody at like arm's length. Like no one really knows like what happened to him, or like, you know what I mean? There's one member of his gang, a girl named Inej, a queen. She's like the only one that he kind of like is a little bit more vulnerable around. I'm so obsessed with this couple, and it's very much like I trust no one, but I trust you. I have no one, but now I have you. It's kind of like that situation. I made 2 videos literally just about these two. But yeah, please recommend me any specific book tropes that you like, because I would love to read them. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
You